So, hello there everyone, and welcome. It is Aaron here, and today it is time for me to bring you another set of unrealistic things in FIFA 19 career mode. I made the first one of these merely 4 days ago, and the comments erupted with even more stuff that you guys find very unrealistic and irritating in FIFA 19 career mode. So I'm going to be listing them all off today once again. Obviously, I am an EA game changer, so I'll be hoping to bring these things to the attention of career mode developers, but if there happens to be anyone from EA watching, then I do hope this can be passed on as information. I don't want to drill them, but you know, it's stuff that needs to be fixed. Anyway, regardless of that, if you go on to enjoy the video, slap a like on it, and as always, subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video, and it massively helps me out. Now then, let's get into shenanigans. First of all, we've got the teams boo every single ex-player. Now, to be honest with you, right, the start of this is a good thing. I like the fact they've implemented this in. It adds atmosphere in-game. I do think EA need to add a bit more when it comes to offline atmosphere, like in derby games. Obviously not fights and stuff, it's a Peggy 3 game, they're not going to want to promote that sort of thing, but there needs to be a bit more edge and fire in derby games, so it's nice to see this element added to the game. However, it probably should be with certain players going to rival teams, rather than just every single player. I don't know, obviously, you know, Liverpool fans will boo Raheem Sterling, I get that, but Leicester fans won't boo N'Golo Kante, and they do on their game, and it's just a bit like, you know, it's not going to happen in real life. You know, he's a player that is liked by his ex-club, even though he doesn't play for them anymore. So maybe it should, I mean, it's a very difficult thing to implement. It's a very small one, I do realise, but it is unrealistic, you know, Leicester fans booing N'Golo Kante or any other player that's even, you know, I don't think they even boo Riyad Mahrez, to be honest with you. So I just think maybe it would be better if it's a trade between rival teams rather than any ex-player whatsoever. Now, moving on from that, we've got bids from rival teams. It's sort of, we're going on along a trend. They're not all about rivals and derbies and all that sort of thing, but I do not want to be managing Liverpool and getting bids for my players from Manchester United, and it happens every single time. Literally, I did a save with Liverpool at the start of the year for a series, and I think I got bids for 4 of my players from Manchester United, but I think they're the team that bidded for my players the most out of the entire series. I had bids for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I had a bid for Roberto Firmino, I had a bid for, who was the other one? Andrew Robertson as well, and it's like, why? Just program it so that rival teams don't bid for other players. Manchester United would not try and buy Roberto Firmino or Andrew Robertson in real life. It's just not going to happen, and in the same token, really, why am I able to then also bid for, you know, players from rival teams as well? It happens occasionally in real life. Yes, obviously, Alexis Sanchez going to Manchester United, for example, but it's a bit too frequent, is what I will say. I don't think they should eradicate it completely, but I think it's a bit too frequent, sorry, and they should also make it more difficult for you to buy players from rival teams as well, because at the moment you can buy a player from anywhere, to be honest with you. There needs to be a bit more reward for actually signing a player. Anyway, moving on from that, we're going to talk about fixtures a lot, but this is the first point. Fixtures, just generally speaking, are far too close together. Obviously, I have talked about the fact that you can have a game and then another one the day after in a previous video, and a lot of you guys in the comment section were saying you've actually had games scheduled on the same day, which is utterly ridiculous. The fixture system on this game is an absolute joke, but generally speaking, games are being put together when they don't need to be. If I've got a Europa League game on a Thursday, why am I playing in the Premier League on a Saturday? The earliest I would play in the Premier League after a Europa League game is a Sunday. You physically have to. That's pretty much why Arsenal most of the time play on a Sunday, is because they're in the Europa League. Chelsea are the same. As I record this, I'm recording this and uploading it on a Sunday. Arsenal and Chelsea played today because they played in the Europa League midweek. Why would I have to play on a Saturday? In the same token, why am I playing on a Tuesday in the FA Cup after playing on a Sunday in the league? Why not put the league game on a Saturday or put the FA Cup tie on a Wednesday? Because I've then got another break till Sunday. It just makes no sense. There just needs to be more spacing. There needs to be, first of all, there needs to be a system where you can't actually play back-to-back games. The absolute minimum amount of games can be 48 hours. That needs to be implemented. And then also, if there's space after a game, puts it directly in the middle. I'm fed up of playing an FA Cup game 2 days after another game and then a week break. What's the point? Just put it in between the 2 games. It's just annoying. Number 4, sim matches are way too predictable and have a very distinct pattern. I've noticed, right, if you're simming a game and you score early, 90% of the time, you're going to lose. There's going to be a comeback. You'll score, and then you'll lose the game 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, whatever. That is the first one. There's plenty of other scenarios that pretty much happen every single time in a sim. Like, the AI can't come from 2 goals behind. If you're leading 2-0, you're going to win the game. It's actually impossible for an AI team to come back and even draw from 2-0 down, or then go on to win the game, like, let alone win the game. You're going to win the game. If you're 2 goals up against the AI, you're going to win in a sim. Why? Comebacks happen in real life, so why can they not happen in sims? There's a maximum amount of goals you can score away from home. You can only score 3 goals away from home. You can only score 6 goals at home. I just don't understand. Like, I get coding, you know, and all that sort of jazz, but it should be way more random like you have on Football Manager. Like, you can literally get any scoreline at all in Football Manager, and it should be the same in Sims in career mode. Number 5, AI teams don't replace players that they lose. If you sign a player, like a key player, from an AI team, they will not replace them. They just simply won't. They won't bring in a player to fill up that position. They won't even bring in a worse player. They'll just let that position fade away. If you bring in a goalkeeper, a top goalkeeper from somewhere, they will just go down to their second goalkeeper. Whereas in real life, obviously, you would bring in a replacement unless you did have an equally good player in the reserves. But they don't. The AI teams don't. Number 6, we could have a field day with this one, but player aging is ridiculous. I'm sorry. As soon as a player reaches 30, that's it. Dunzo. I did talk about in the past where, you know, you shouldn't buy players over 30. Realistically, it can be a good idea depending on the save. If you're doing a road to glory, 30-year-old plus players can be very helpful because they're cheap and they're usually a higher overall than the average of your league or whatever. So in that situation, it's good. But it's made so unrewarding at times by player growth and player aging or decreasing for players over 30. Like, players can be 30 and be at their prime. You know, they can be late bloomers. Jamie Vardy did not peak at the sort of age you would expect him to. I just don't really understand why there's such a dramatic decline in players from the age of 30. And it's also odd stats as well go down. I realise the physicals go down, which makes sense, but often they go down far too much to the point where you've got players with like 1 pace and 1 agility, which is funny and crack up and great for titles and stuff, but at the same time, it makes absolutely no sense at all. You will lose a yard of pace, for sure, when you get older, that's calm. Also, why are mental stats going down? You're not going to lose the ability to, you're not going to lose, I mean, you know, you do get worse vision, like actually biological vision, but you don't lose that tactical nous just because you've got older. If anything, it actually gets enhanced. Number 7, the lack of manager models means that we're getting managers meeting their doppelgangers, because there's literally only about 8 presets on the game, and have been now for 3 years. It is very, very easy for your manager to meet an identical copy of himself in-game. Now, I've noticed they've implemented a system where this doesn't happen in transfer negotiations. I don't think I've ever met a doppelganger of my manager in transfer negotiations, whether it be the opposite manager or whether it be the agent, so they've done well with that. However, in-game, you can still have a manager meet up with literally his clone. And it just loses the immersion slightly when your manager shakes hands with the exact same man. Just get some more face scans in for managers, please. And then finally, the second thing to do with fixtures. Why am I playing games on Christmas Day? It happens so frequently, it is a joke. After Season 1, you'll never play another game on Boxing Day. It'll never happen, and obviously this is Premier League only, because I think it's only a Premier League tradition to actually play on Boxing Day. But after Season 1, you will never play again on Boxing Day. I don't know what it is. It's meant to be random, realistically. Obviously, it depends on the day of the week that Boxing Day falls on, because the game isn't programmed to automatically put games on Boxing Day. But for some reason, the amount of times I will play on Christmas Day is ridiculous in comparison to Boxing Day. There's not going to be games on Christmas, EA. That's just harsh of the Football Association. That, though, is probably about it for unrealistic things, in my opinion, on career mode. Drops any more down in the comment section below if there's any more than you can think of. But I will be doing a converse video to this one, so if you've got any realistic things you want me to put into a video, then drop them down in the comment section below as well. We've got to critique the game, but also praise the positives as well, so they actually remain in the game going forward. But if you enjoyed this video, slap a a like on it, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it massively helps me out. You can also follow me on social media these days too. My Twitter and Insta are at @theofficialfng and links are down below. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.